Jainism and Pranam. Hope you all are able to perform Paryushan Aradhana well and are in great chata. My name is Megha Doshi and this is the second of the 8 series videos we have prepared for this Paryushan in coordination with YJA. In the previous video, we talked about Paryushan and its meaning. Today, we will talk about Pratikraman. The soul in its pure form has infinite perception or Anant Darshan, infinite knowledge or Anant Gnan, infinite vigor or Anant Virya, and is non-attached. However, these attributes are not seen in a worldly soul because it is soiled with karmas. By following religious principles and activities, we overcome our karmas and uplift our souls to liberation. There are various kinds of religious activities, sometimes called rituals, and amongst them, Pratikraman is the most important ritual. So, what is Pratikraman? Pratikraman, there are two definitions of Pratikraman when combined together gives us its true essence. Let's break down the word Pratikraman into two words, Prati and Kraman. By the first definition, Prati means to go away or opposite, and Kraman means to move. Pratikraman is the act of moving away from our past deeds or mistakes. In other words, it means to move away from our kashais, which are Krodh, Man, Maya, and Lobh. The second definition means Prati means towards, and Kraman means to move. So Pratikraman is also the act of moving towards better deeds in the future. It is to move towards virtues exemplified by the Panchparmeshti. It is to begin the search for true happiness which lies within our souls, ourselves. Both these definitions together define true Pratikraman. As an example, back in India, it's a tradition to do full home cleaning before Diwali. Here, perhaps, we do some form of annual spring cleaning. In both instances, not only do we remove the dust and garbage, but we also redecorate and replenish. Similarly, Pratikraman is an act of cleansing our souls from past deeds and striving for virtues and true happiness which lies within us. This brings us to the next segment of our discussion as to why we perform Pratikraman. As a Jain householder, we are supposed to observe 12 minor vows of laity. These vows are guidelines to living a Jain way of life. As we live our lives, we knowingly or unknowingly perform acts that go against these vows. We do Pratikraman to review our past deeds for any violations that may have occurred amongst these vows, ask for forgiveness, and attempt to improve our future actions. If we have not taken these vows, then we should wish that there will come a day when we can take these 12 vows. Now that we know what and why do we do Pratikraman, let's talk about how often we should do Pratikraman with an example. For instance, you wore a new dress or suit or a beautiful outfit to attend a dinner party. While having dinner, you spilled something and caused a stain on your new and beautiful outfit. You can clean it up at different times with varying level of effort and effectiveness. If you immediately go to the washroom and try to clean that stain, it will be washed off immediately with very little efforts. If you leave it as is and decide to wash it after going home, it might take some additional efforts to clean it as the stain had more time to settle in. If you wait until the next laundry load is done, maybe a few days away, the stain may settle and it might take more than one load to clean it. Or you don't clean it at all and the stain will be settled there forever. In the same context, Pratikraman is considered due as soon as transgression occurs. The sooner we atone for the lapse, the minimal would be the bondage of the karma to the soul. We may, however, not be vigilant enough or realize the lapse as it occurs, so the guidance lays down that we should do Pratikraman twice a day. Once in the evening, which is called Devsi Pratikraman, which is meant for the lapses during the daytime and should be done at the end of the day or sunset. The other is known as Rai or morning Pratikraman, which is meant for lapses during the night time and should be done in the morning at sunrise. When this is not achievable, the next recommendation is to do Pratikraman once every fortnight. This is known as Pakki Pratikraman. If the Pakhi Pratikraman is not achievable, then the next recommendation is to do one Pratikraman at least every 4 months, which is called Chaumasi Pratikraman. If every 4 month Pratikraman is not achievable, then one should at least do one Pratikraman each year. This yearly or annual Pratikraman is called Samvatsari Pratikraman and is considered as a must for every Jain. There is a special significance for this must. The passions that defile the nature of the soul are of 4 types. The worst one is known as Anantanubandhi bondage, meaning very severe and long lasting bondage, lasting over a year, up to many years, or many lives. A pratikraman washes off such defilements. Samvatsari pratikraman thus helps in washing off the defilements pertaining to a whole year, thereby limiting the duration of the defilements to less than a year and thus avoid very severe bondage. Pratikraman also reminds us every year not to engage into such sinful activities. That is the reason I requested you to start recollecting all your deeds through the year yesterday. Prepare a list of deeds that you may have done in the past for which you would like to seek forgiveness on the Samvatsari Pratikraman day. On the last day, we want to make sure we ask for forgiveness for all our sins before the karma book closes off for the year. We do not want them to become nikachit or toughest karmas which can only be shed by bearing the results. Also, preserve this list, take it to a Guru or Acharya Maharaj next time when you visit India, and take prayashchit or atonement for those. I want to end this video by sharing my personal story. After I completed my college, I decided to go and celebrate one Paryushan Parva in Palitana or Kshetrunjay as my grandma or grandmother was there for Chomasu or Chaturmas. This is the period of 4 months where sadhus and sadhvis do not travel as it is the rainy or the monsoon season to avoid himsa or violence. It was one of the greatest Paryushans I ever had. I would like to mention one of my experiences about Pratikraman there. One of the evenings I was doing Pratikraman in the Sangh with other Shravikas and Sadhvis. We were performing 12 Logas Kausag. I saw a mosquito sitting on the Shravika's hand who was in front of me. If I were her, my natural bodily instinct would have been to move my hand. But she did not move at all, nor did she show any kind of discomfort. She was completely absorbed in the Kausag. I had always heard from my guru or teacher that during meditation one should forget the body as if it does not exist. This helps get rid of some karmas because of the physical suffering. We may mentally recite Loga Sutra, but we should give up all the physical activities. By practicing Kausag or Kayotsarg this way, we slowly and steadily get control over our physical and verbal activities and ultimately mental activities too. It was amazing to observe this, and ever since I have been trying to practice all my Kausags in this manner. If I may have said anything against Bhagwan's Vani or teachings, knowingly or unknowingly, I ask for forgiveness. Mechami Dukadam. Thank you and Jai Jinendra.